Hello, Love Wrestling. Thursday morning, 10 a.m. You see Drew, you see myself. You know what day it is. You know what time it is. It is time for another edition of Firmly Firmly Love Wrestling, but Firmly AEW today. As we'll be diving into AEW. We had the FRIGHT NIGHT Dynamite last night, which was a good bounce back show for them. The last couple have been a little so a very good bounce back show. Now we'll see if they can carry the momentum and we can have regular Dynamites that are not themed be great shows, because that's what we need to get back to, because these theme shows killing it, Drew. These theme shows are good, but the Dynamites that aren't special. And I think that's kind of, but last night was a hell of a show, Drew. It was a good time.
Yeah. Really
excited to dive into it here with you momentarily. Let me just make sure that everything is up and good while we allow people to pop in here early in the morning. We do have some breaking news at the top, Drew. We do have some breaking news. We do. Breaking news at the top. I just want to make sure everything is good. But yes, we do have some breaking news.
It was a good day for the Dodgers.
Today was a good day.
It was. Ice Cube leading it off.
Yankees lose.
You love saying it. It's unbelievable. How you getting to New York, man?
Oh, man. Breaking news. Last night, the Los Angeles Dodgers, who I don't like either, but Mookie Betts, baby. World Series winning MVP. He knows where his heart lies. His heart lies in Boston, always and forever. Mookie Betts, Alex Verdugo, that bum, former Red Sox, makes the last out. Mookie Betts, former Red Sox legend, drives in the World Series winning run. Where are all the big, proud Yankee fans now? Where are you guys? You were back, I thought. What happened? What happened? You barely won a game against the bullpen. Come on. What happened? It's okay. It's all right. You can hit 220 and pretend that you guys matter. Beat the Guardians, beat the Royals. Woo! Woo! Anyway, breaking news, though. If you just popped in, breaking news.
It was a good day for the Dodgers.
Today was a good day.
It was. Ice Cube leading it off.
Yankees lose.
You love saying it. It's unbelievable. How you getting to New York, man?
Hey, man. I know people that know.
Unbelievable. What a game. What a game. 5-0 lead, Drew. And your boy, Garrett, couldn't happen to a better guy. Garrett Cole, fucking pumping his fist because he struck out a guy that was in single A a month ago. In the third inning, pumping his fist like he matters. Oh, what a time. All right, I just want to get that through. That was breaking news. It came in this morning. I was given that. Just at the top, just wanted to get it out of the way. But Yankee fans, listen. I know you're, for the most part, Drew's a good one because I know he's a good individual. Okay, for the most part, you're all scum. But the guy that's trying to break Mookie Betts' wrists, that's a Yankee fan. That's the epitome of a Yankee fan. Gets kicked out of the stadium, and all the other Yankee fans on the way up are hugging him, hitting him on the good job, buddy. Good job, buddy. Giving him like he's a hero. He's on freaking ESPN and Barstool doing interviews like he matters, promoting it like it's a good thing. The guy assaulted somebody. Anyway. Morning, Drew. How you doing today? What's up? What's going on? How are you?
Screw you for doing that, number one.
Yeah, I didn't tell you about that. We're only 5 minutes in, so be careful.
No, I'm not going to. Listen. The Yankees are a terrible organization.
Well, that's inherently not. They made it to the World Series. Or it's
No,
inherently
but
not.
they
That's
didn't.
inherently not true.
They did not make it with actually good staff and actually
Yeah.
good teamwork.
It was the easiest road of all time to get to the World Series. Easiest road of all time.
Luck. It was pure luck. Undoubtedly, 100%, it was pure luck.
I mean, I say this as a Red Sox fan who obviously despises the Yankees. But at the end of the day, there's only 2 teams that make it to the World Series every year. And regardless of the easiest path ever to get there, Guardians and Royals, give me a friggin' break. Why don't you try to play someone that's even half good? Guardians and Royals, to get there, you ran into a juggernaut. They should have swept you. They didn't. But you ran into a juggernaut. I don't think anybody was probably beating the Dodgers at all. However, I mean, I saw your tweet last night. Obviously, in the moment, you just lost. You got there for the first time in 15 years, and your heart got ripped. You just don't have what it takes. Only a certain team has what it takes to come down from 3-0. You know, there's only certain people that know how to have what it takes and know what it takes to come down from 3 games to 0. You guys know what it's like to lose that type of situation. You know, but like David Ortiz said after the game last night, they not like us. They not like us. They just ain't. They don't got this. They're not like us. I think the Kendrick Lamar song was playing or something like that. I think so. I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, I did see your tweet. It was an anger tweet, but it's in the moment. You just lost the World Series. I get it. But even as a Red Sox fan, the Yankees were the best team in the American League all year. They had the best record in the American League all year. They were the dominant team all year. They made it to the World Series in the American League, which was expected. They just faced an actually like a juggernaut, better team. Like nobody was beating the Dodgers. Nobody was beating the Dodgers. Now, yeah, I mean, I hate Garrett Cole. So his lazy ass not covering first base is about the epitome of everything I feel about that guy. He is about as fake hustle a player as I've ever seen in my life. Strikes out a guy in the 3rd inning when the game doesn't matter, pumping his fist, yeah, oh, yelling like he's a big tough guy. Yeah, oh, I'm Garrett Cole. And then the second there's pressure, his butthole gets that big. His butthole gets that big. And his $35 million a year can kiss my ass. I hate Garrett Cole, little bitch. Oh. I do feel bad for Judge, though, because you Yankee fans are already turning on him. Because that's what Yankee fans do. That's what Yankee fans do. The guy friggin' hits 6 home runs a year for you. 2 out of the last 3 years. Going to win another MVP. The main reason you got to the World Series. Because he carried your ass through August and September. Literally the main reason you got there. He has a rough playoffs, no doubt. In 2018, Mookie had a rough playoffs for us. We still won, so it didn't get as negative as it could have. But Mookie Betts in 2018 stunk in the playoffs for the Red Sox. So I know what it's like. But Yankee fans, being typical Yankee fans, I've seen people on the internet saying they should trade him. That he's a bum. All this stuff. I'm like, yeah, okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. That's just like
okay. So I think you probably remember my tweet from last night, where I did play a typical Yankee fan in that case, where I called him a choke artist. Now,
Shohei played badly too. Yeah, he went 2 for 19. Again, he got injured. So he was injured for a lot of it, but 2 for 19. Yeah. He was terrible too. And if the Dodgers lost, people would have been, I don't think, New York fans care a lot more than LA fans. So I don't know if they would have been as negative towards Shohei as Yankee fans were getting. But man, thank God he hit a home run. He had a good game. He had the bad era, which was brutal. But he hit a home run last night. He got a hit towards the end he was the tying run on second with no outs in the 9th. Judge. So like he at least last night, it felt like he did his part. He did his part. The error was really bad.
Congrats to him.
But I just find it funny that, this guy's.
I'm going to tell you who the real winner, aside from the actual winner of this was, and that was Anthony Volpe.
He made a bad error last night, though.
He made a bad error last night.
Yeah,
but he is the sole reason why we didn't get swept.
Oh yeah. I can already tell. I said this on stream the other day because I was playing MLB The Show, and I said he hasn't done anything yet the grand slam he hit the other night was a big moment for him, clearly, duh. And he's a New York kid or whatever, so whoop-de-friggin' do. He sucks. But, it's one of those things. He hasn't done anything yet to warrant, besides him wearing that uniform, he hasn't done anything yet to warrant my sports hate, but I already know. Lawrence, you missed it when we popped right on.
Well, but you already just trash talked him, even though you just said that now.
Well, no. Look, he had a big game 6. But in my brain as a Red Sox fan, I said this like last week or so. I was like, I just know that at sometime soon, he's too much of a rookie and he hasn't done enough yet. But sometime soon, this guy's going to become a Yankee I hate. Like he's just going to become one of those little shit Yankees that do, he's a good player. He should be a good player. He's young still, but like he's just going to be that neck. Because that really, when it comes to Red Sox Yankees, like the rivalry just isn't. And it's because we both kind of stunk for a while. And then one of us is good when the other one isn't. The years that we've been good, you guys haven't been good. The years that you've been good, we haven't been good. So like the Red Sox Yankees rivalry is still there, but it's not, it's not what it was. So like,
it's not like what it was 2 years ago.
No, and it never will be. But like, when I look at the Yankees players, like there's no Yankees players that I hate Garrett Cole. I hate Garrett Cole. But besides him, I have no problem with Aaron Judge at all. I don't mind Giancarlo Stanton. I don't mind. I don't hate those players like I hated the players of the 2000s and the 2010s and those. Like I just don't anymore. However, I will say one person I do hate on your team is your manager, and he should be fired. He should have been fired before this even. And again, he made it to the World Series. Good on him. And I don't think he was the reason you guys lost game 1, but I don't think he was the reason you lost this series. You just didn't hit. But that guy's a bum manager, and he's been a bum manager, and he should have lost his job a couple years ago. And I know he made it to the World Series, which means he's probably not going to lose his job this year.
He definitely won't. No.
He should, though, because
it's already been reported that this didn't affect anything.
No,
so it's going to be business as usual next season.
Yeah. But for anyone that just popped in, we are going to talk AEW Fright Night. That's why we're here. But there was breaking news at the top of the show.
It was a good day for the Dodgers.
Good day. What's a good day?
It was. Ice Cube leading it off.
Because the Yankees lose.
Okay. That was the 4th time I've done that.
Yeah.
So, that I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it throughout the show. I did it at the beginning, but there's more people in here now. I did it at the beginning. You might see it towards the end just because I'm going to watch it about 1,000 times. But breaking news at the top of the show. I just wanted to get that out there. Yeah. Garrett Cole, you suck. All right. So AEW Dynamite. Fright Night Dynamite was last night, Drew. Who doesn't? Guy's a gift to society. He's a gift to human nature. He's just a gift, that man.
That's a player I grew up hating. So there you go.
Yeah, that was just jealous.
The player that I grew up hating and the players you grew up hating all sit at that table.
Yeah, but like, here's my thing. My guys didn't give you reasons to hate him. We were just better than you. Like your guys were cocky, arrogant, just pricks.
Excuse me.
Starting fights.
Big Poppy, not cocky and arrogant. Are you kidding me?
Now he is. When he was playing against you guys and beating your asses, he wasn't arrogant. He'd just get up to the plate and crush you. Because that's what he did. That's what we do. You guys were the ones that were slapping balls out of hand, starting fights, charging pitchers, and doing the Tanyan starts.
New York.
Yeah, we're Boston. So you guys are mouthy, and then we take care of business. That's how it goes. New Yorkers are all this tough. That's how tough you are. You do this. Boston, we do this, and then if you pipe up too much, we don't really kill you, but we beat the shit out of you. That we back it up. New Yorkers don't. They walk away. Listen, the only thing you need to know in this 15 minutes, the only thing you need to know is that bum that assaulted Mookie Betts was considered a hero yesterday in New York Yankee fandom.
Well, not to me.
Okay. That's fine. Not to you. And I'm sick of hearing that too from other Yankee fans. Well, those aren't our fans. Okay, so the hundreds of fans dapping and hugging and acting like that guy's a hero, that's all you guys. You can't only claim the good ones. That's you. That's Yankee fans. The guys that were cheering, 3,000 of them in a bar cheering when Shohei Ohtani got injured 2 games ago. cheering.
Also terrible.
That's you guys. That's who you are. That's who you are. So you can't.
No, you can't say that's who I am.
No, it's not who
I
you
am
are
not.
as a person, but that's Yankee fans. You can't. That is Yankee fans. You've been doing that shit my whole life. You're dog shit fans. Not all of you are dog shit people, but you're dog shit fans. Listen,
I don't agree with that.
You're not Philly. You're not Philly. We can all take pride in the fact that neither of us are Philly. That's not true. What does that mean? He's a terrible person. I don't care. I don't care. He's a terrible person. I don't like Curt Schilling.
As a fan of the Yankees,
again, that's just jealousy because Curt Schilling shut you up.
I denounce the guy who tried to hurt Mookie Betts, and I denounce the guys and the people who were cheering for
like 85%,
Ohtani's.
85% of the people that root for the same baseball team as you.
Absolutely.
Okay. It's fair. That's all
it's
I'm
terrible.
saying.
That is a terrible thing, and nobody should be rooting for that.
Well, your whole fan base basically did. So, Dan, Pedro was in self-defense because the old man was charging him and literally wouldn't stop. Not a good moment for anybody. Was awful. I actually like Don Zimmer. He was a former Red Sox way back before my time. I like Don Zimmer. Don Zimmer got his old ass thrown to the ground because he was literally charging to assault a man. And Pedro sidestepped him and just place him down. See you later. And that's what he did. He just, okay. You do the same thing. If you were walking on the street, Dan, going to a show, and some old ass man was just charging you, and you were like, hey, what's going on? And he just kept on charging it, you might, that's all I'm saying.
Obviously, last night I was heated about it, so I made that tweet. But if everybody is staying, everybody, front office and coaches,
I would assume. I mean, you need to make sure Juan Soto stays. You need to.
Well,
that's assignment number one. That's assignment number one.
Yeah, that'll probably not happen.
Careful, I think
Hal Steinbrenner's father is rolling the fucking grave every year.
You know what? So, all right, because we do have to talk about wrestling here. But I watched. They came out on Netflix last week. They came out with the 2004, the 20th anniversary, new documentary about the Red Sox with the 3-0. I'm not saying this to be a dick. They just came out, and it's about the comeback against the Yankees.
Yeah, right.
You guys just aren't like us. You don't know what it takes to come back from 3-0. There's only a certain group of people and area of the country who knows what it's like to really grab defeat by the horns and do what it takes. But I miss Steinbrenner. Obviously, he probably, he's no longer here. He died a long time ago. But they were talking about the early 2000s, and they were talking about kind of the history of the Red Sox Yankees and kind of the few years before that. And he was such a prevalent character, Steinbrenner. And he was like he was the Darth Vader for us Red Sox fans when we were looking at the evil Yankees who always won when we hadn't won. He was the emperor. He wasn't even Darth Vader. He was he was the guy. And, obviously teenage Joe hated his guts and would scream, oh, you suck, Steinbrenner. When I saw him on the TV screen, screw that guy. Looking back on it now, though, dude, I miss that guy. You guys probably do
Trust
too.
me. We miss him too.
Yeah, you probably do too.
His son is a garbage owner.
Yeah, and look, he was a garbage human being as well. He did some terrible shit. Like, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking just as in baseball, that type of he was the only owner like that in baseball. Nobody owned you see that in football. Jerry Jones. You see these loud owners that try to do whatever. Like Steinbrenner was that guy in baseball, and he was just such an oh man. Anyway, I digress.
He's rolling over in his grave.
He is. Last time before we go to AEW, just in case you missed it, there was breaking news at the top.
It was a good day for the Dodgers.
Today was a good day.
It was. Ice Cube leading it
because
off.
the Yankees lose.
Okay. So, Fright Night. Last night. Where was it? Cleveland. The land. It was in your neck of the woods, Dan. I know Dan is in the chat here. So it was in Dan Brown's neck of the woods. It was in Cleveland, Ohio. A big night on the docket. And this night, Drew, started. So we got one of these. So they've been kind of doing this every week now for a little bit, Drew, is, Moxley and crew do something heinous the week before. And then the Dynamite the next week starts with footage or a promo or footage of them literally right after the event from the previous week starts. Ended, right?
Yeah.
So this show starts. We just see Moxley and crew kind of in the back of the arena from last week, kind of not running, but like, walking fast, trying to get out of there after everything that happens. Claudio, not much is said in this, but Claudio is the only one that really says something. He just goes, John built this place with his bare hands 5 years ago. He built this place. He helped build this place. And then, we just see them leave. And then we kind of get a highlight of what they did before. And as this is happening, we hear somebody over it say, cut it off, like turn it off, cut it off, turn it off. And that's Orange Cassidy. And Orange Cassidy makes his way down to the ring. He gets on the mic and he goes, hey, man, he goes, I don't do this type of stuff. He goes, I'm not this guy. I'm not a leader. I go, I'm not the guy that comes out here and talks to you people. Like, that's just not what I do. That's not who I am. He's like, but last week when I slid into this ring and I watched my best friend Chuck Taylor get his neck crushed, when I looked around, he goes, I was surrounded by the people that I should have been. He goes, I admire their courage and they're all talented, but they're all very young. And he goes, and they are the future of AEW. He goes, but they have no idea what they're in for, like what kind of danger or how dangerous Jon Moxley is. He goes on, he says, if Mox has his way, there's no future, no place to go. He goes, Moxley doesn't need AEW. He never has. He goes, but I do. He goes, Orange Cassidy wouldn't exist if it wasn't for AEW. And he's like, so I know what I need to do. I need to cut the head off the snake and make sure nobody else gets hurt. And I'm going to do it myself. And he challenges Jon Moxley to an AEW World Championship match. He said, I'm going to take that belt and that symbol that represents everything that represents this company. He goes, I'm going to take it out of your bag and I'm going to put it in my backpack. And the crowd pops. And then he says, John, let me know. I'm not hard to find. And then he goes, I'm here in this ring because I'm freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy and I'm the next AEW World Champion. And I still don't need a catchphrase. Or I still don't have a catchphrase or something like that. Drops the mic and leaves. So a rare in-ring promo from Orange Cassidy, but I really liked it. I'm all in on this Orange Cassidy going for the world. Like I've said that. I'm all in. I love Orange Cassidy. I think this is perfect. Let's go, dude. Johnny, what's going on, my friend?
Good morning, sir. So I have, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to say every time it happens, I praise it because it differs from the norm. And this is not what you usually see in wrestling, is a video package getting interrupted to be cut off so that somebody could just walk to the ring without their music.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole night really was very, it really feels like an alternate program.
Mm-hmm.
It really felt like that last night. There's just so much praise for this, honestly. And he is, so while you were talking, I was looking it up because so when he was saying in his promo, I was like, oh, I'm surrounded by these young guys and they don't know. And I'm just thinking to myself, well, you're young too, aren't you?
Oh, he's like almost 40.
He is
not 40. Yeah, he's up there. He's been doing this for a long time. He doesn't look it.
No idea.
He doesn't look a day over 30. To be honest,
I legitimately thought he was like 28, 29.
No, he's not. Listen, I'm gonna be 40. Like 40's not old, but like he's not a young gun. No, he is not a young gun in this world, in the wrestling world.
Right.
Even though 40 is
Santa
still,
Claus beard.
Yeah, even though 40 is like in wrestling is not old. But yeah, he's not in his 20s. No.
So I was legitimate that I was like, I don't know if you saw my face. So I was like, what? Yeah. It took me aback, legitimately.
Yeah.
So no, he's not pushing 40. He
is 40. Yeah, he's 40. He's a man. He's 40. Sports fans will know that. He is
40. May 4th is his birthday. Another May
Hey.
birthday.
I'm May 2nd. That's close, dude. We were almost born on the same exact day.
Yeah.
Son of a
You're
bee.
May
May the 4th be
2nd.
with you. I'm
He's
May
May
2nd.
4th.
Yep.
I'm May 23rd.
Unbelievable.
It's
I'm a year.
yeah.
He's a year older than me, though, apparently, because he's 40, and I'm next year I will be, and I'll go jump into a pond or
Yeah.
something. I don't know, but we'll
Well, no,
see.
next year he'll be 41.
Yeah, so he's a year older than me, but we almost have the same birthday. That's nice.
Yeah. So
I love. Yeah, I loved it, Drew.
yeah, this whole thing was awesome. He was kind of like, he talks, but
yeah.
it's not like that. Like
No.
when he talks, it's really just slow. He'll do his half thumbs up thing.
Yep.
Move very slowly, But this was like out of character Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
So, and actually, I don't even know what his real name is. Oh, that was not what I was expecting at all.
No, he looks like
Okay.
he would have a normal name.
His name is James.
There you go.
James.
Not to me.
James, either Sipperly or Kipperly. I don't know. It's a C, so I'm going to assume Sipperly.
Yeah, maybe.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So this was excellent. Like, and it sold me 100% on him trying to get the AEW title. Now, is he? No,
probably not. Unfortunately,
but not right now, at least.
Yeah, he should get it at some point. He is more than deserving.
Oh, he should
to be AEW World Champion at some point.
But you noticed also he was wearing all black.
I did notice that.
That was the first time for him.
Yeah,
he was wearing his denim jeans and jacket with his white shirt with his face on it.
Yeah,
but then he started wearing a black shirt with his face on it, with the blue jeans and denim jacket. Now he's wearing black jeans and a black denim jacket.
Yeah. I would say right now, Drew, I am at a 22% possibility that at the end of this, Orange Cassidy is with Moxley in that group as a bad guy.
You think so?
22% right now. 22%. Him wearing all black last night, even though obviously the message was going after Moxley, that probably rose at about 10 to 15%. Because I was like, all black, that means one thing. Either he's dead serious, which that's what we're getting, or he's going to turn heel. And
I will say it's not like it doesn't make sense, but judging from what he said in this promo about being surrounded by the young guys.
Mm-hmm. And we'll get to the Moxley promo, but Moxley in his promo later, he wasn't really talking bad about Orange Cassidy. He was doing that thing where he was like, no, dude, I respect you. That's not the Orange Cassidy I know. I respect you. I know what you can do. Like these guys that he talks about sometimes, when he was talking about Brian, right? He was talking about putting Brian down. And, I don't care that we're close. I don't care that we're brothers. I got to put you down because you can't handle this. But when he talked about Darby, he didn't say bad stuff about Darby. He said he respected Darby. He knew Darby's heart and all this stuff. He's talking about Orange Cassidy. He's not saying bad things about Orange Cassidy. He's saying, hey, man, I respect you. Yes, he did, Scott. I was going to bring that back. He did say in an interview once that when he did an interview that you can find on the interwebs, he did say something along the lines of watch out for when I start wearing black, because when I start wearing black, that's that the whole character, like the whole thing's changing or something like that. Something along those lines. And guess what? Now he's wearing black. So just another thing to keep an eye on. If I had to bet money, I still think Jack Perry would probably be my leader in the clubhouse of who ends up with Moxley. Jack Perry, kind of.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely happening.
That's what I'm saying. Well, my thing is, and we'll get to it because Moxley talks a little bit later, so we'll get to it. But so we have that with Orange Cassidy to start the show. We've got a quick little backstage thing with Mercedes Moné and Camille. They're walking backstage. Renee does an interview. Mercedes does not like Renee's question. Says it's a terrible question. Says Statlander is a powerhouse, but she doesn't hold a candle to Camille. And then, that was that. And then we get the in-ring return. For the first time in 14 months, we had Adam Cole in the ring going one-on-one with Buddy Matthews. Drew, they immediately started doing the is Adam Cole still injured stuff. Immediate. Now, I did not have a problem with it. Well, all right. Let me step that back. Let me walk that back a little bit. So this match starts. They have a collar and elbow tie up. Literally like less than a minute into the match, Adam Cole like lands on his feet or something in the ring, and he starts doing a little wince and starts oh. And commentary's like, oh, the ankle. And then a couple minutes later, he gets knocked off the apron and lands on the ground, and he like really sells it that he hurt the ankle and all stuff like that. And then as the match went on, Buddy Matthews started attacking the ankle and beating up the ankle, which obviously that's different. That is different. But they were really selling this is not the right word, but the questionableness of whether Adam Cole was really healthy right at the beginning, which I understand and I liked, but in the back of my brain, I'm like, who cleared you? You haven't wrestled for 14 months. You get cleared, and 30 seconds into the match, just landing on the ring, you're limping. Bro, you ain't healthy then. That shit ain't fixed. But I get it. It's part of the story. I get it.
It was, they had to
I get it. Just
did you come back too early?
Yeah, in my brain, I'm like, you got cleared, and 10 seconds into the match, you're limping. You ain't healthy then. You shouldn't. Who cleared you? Because that shit ain't healed. Clearly. But anyway, it was a good match, though. And I liked it. Buddy Matthews attacking the ankle the whole time was really good, showing Adam Cole having to overcome it. And at the end, so Adam Cole gets the victory. And at the end of this match, Adam Cole grabs a mic and he thanks Buddy Matthews. He says, hey, I know what you did. And I know you needed to get this out of me because I needed to get this out of me. So I appreciate what you did. And he offers a handshake. And Buddy Matthews shakes the hand, and then the lights go out. And when the lights come back on, Adam Cole is still there shaking someone's hand, but it's Malachi Black who's shaking his hand, and Buddy's right next to him. And then we find out that next week, in my neck of the woods, Manchester, New Hampshire, they're here next week on Dynamite. I'm going to try to go. I think they're also taping Collision the next night in Providence, which is not far, but obviously that's a Thursday night. I have beards, so I don't know if I'll be doing the Collision thing, but I'm going to try to be going to that Dynamite next week in Manchester. But yes, we are getting Adam Cole versus Malachi Black next week. So Adam Cole gets the victory. So on the race to 3 wins in a row, Adam Cole has 1. He already is booked for a second match. Roddy's just sitting there not doing anything. So I don't know if they'll probably announce that he's going to wrestle on Collision maybe or something.
About who got the 3 wins first, the Dodgers should be facing MJF.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. Not a lie. That is factual. But it feels like, so Adam Cole already has 1 win. Roddy has none. He hasn't wrestled since. We already have a second match booked for Adam Cole against Malachi Black next week. I assume Roddy's going to start wrestling on these Collisions, maybe, or something like that. Personally, all right. You know how this is going to go, right? Adam Cole won last night. Roddy won on Saturday, and they got to fight each other. MJF's going to make them fight each other, right? That's what's going to happen. Somehow MJF will get the power to make them fight each other.
I mean, he got the power to make them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
To do this whole thing in the first place.
So, Adam Cole gets his win. I would be shocked. Roddy gets his win Saturday on Collision, probably. Cole wins next Wednesday. Roddy wins next Saturday. And then it's 2-2. You got to fight each other for the third. I assume that's the way it's going to go. But what did you think about this match, Drew? What did you think about kind of the sign of respect, Buddy Matthews, and then kind of the turn into Malachi Black? I mean, Malachi Black and Adam Cole, I am not upset about.
No, I am not upset about. I mean, so I think what's going on is for the past little bit now, it feels like House of Black are kind of baby faces.
Yeah, didn't Brody King did the sign of respect with Darby?
Yeah.
Yeah, and now
WrestleMania.
Buddy Matthews is having a moment with Adam Cole. It feels like they are trending towards a babyface kind of thing here. I think they're just one of those teams that they know the crowd's gonna gravitate towards no matter what because they're just cool, So it's just
yeah, right. So so I'm really interested in seeing now Malachi and Adam Cole. Buddy, like Hezekiah said, Buddy Matthews is really just
incredible,
top tier. Honestly, he really is top tier.
Yeah.
Proving his worth and just really like I would say the Seth Rollins of this group. If you compared this group to the Shield, I would say that Buddy is like the Seth Rollins of the group, which apropos, considering that whole thing with them and WWE. Yeah, I really feel like he's got that like Seth Rollins type of wrestling style amongst the three.
Yeah, I would agree.
Very well done. I'm looking forward to that match next week.
Oh, should be great. Should be great. We then have a backstage segment where Private Party and Renee Paquette are there, and Christopher Daniels is there as well. Daniels says he's talking to Private Party, and he says, "Hey, a few years ago, me and my buddy Frankie Kazarian, we were in the same position you guys were in, and I let him down." And he goes, "And our relationship has never been the same since that." He goes, "The Young Bucks are a hard challenge, but he's pulling for Private Party, and they said history's not going to repeat itself to him." He's like, "We're going to take care of business tonight." And then we come back from commercial, and Adam Cole is in the trainer's room getting looked at. And he says that his ankle clearly isn't what it used to be, and he doesn't blame MJF for that. He says what he blames him for is pretending that the two of them would ever work when clearly they were always meant to be enemies. He says this isn't his first rodeo, and Max needed to be taught a hard lesson. So that's kind of like a little backstage thing they do with Adam Cole. And then we get Don Callis and Kyle Fletcher, newly shaven head Kyle Fletcher. How he didn't come out wearing the Sid shirt from Toy Story, I will never understand, because he looked exactly like Sid from Toy Story. Damn it, you should have wore the black shirt with the skull, Kyle. Come on. Anyway.
Does he look like Sid from Toy Story?
Look at that picture of how he looked last night, and look at Sid from Toy Story, and tell me that he should not have wore the Sid shirt.
Oh, God.
Come on. Come on. I should have got on here early enough and pulled it up, because it is a fucking dead ringer, man. It is a dead ringer, dude.
Oh, my God.
Brother, that was such a missed opportunity. This segment wasn't a missed opportunity, though. It was a really good segment. But
not unsee that, no.
Yeah, he looked exactly like Sid with that new haircut and just the way he looks. Because he looked exactly like Sid from Toy Story, and he should have wore the skull shirt. But it's okay, I digress. So they get out there. Callis goes, everyone pipe down, because Kyle Fletcher has something to say. Kyle Fletcher calls out Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay is not there. But then all of a sudden we hear Aussie Opens music. And Mark Davis, who we have not seen, we've talked about a decent amount.
We have.
We have not seen him in a long time. Mark Davis shows up. Fletcher is surprised, but Fletcher goes in for a hug. He's happy to see his bud. And Mark Davis does the, no, we're talking first, man. We're talking first, man. And Davis says, I wish I could look you in the eyes and say the exact same thing to you, but you're out here calling Will out when you know full well that Will is laid up at home because of what you did. He goes, we called Will a brother, and I don't even know who I'm looking at right now. And then Kyle says, the only thing that's happened is his eyes have been opened to the truth with Don Callis's help. He says, Will never cared about either of them and only used them to further his own career, and he's sure that Will has forgotten about him. Fletcher says he never forgot, and he knew this day would come, and he made sure Davis would have a spot in the Callis family. And Mark Davis says they had a united empire and Kyle destroyed it, and he walks away. And as he's walking away, Fletcher says, hey, he goes, there will come a day very soon when you're going to have to make a hard decision. And as you can tell, I have no problem cutting the past loose. And that's how the segment ended. Thought it was good.
This was a genuine surprise.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I agree with Johnny. I don't know how close Davis is from returning, like as far as an in-ring. I mean, I assume it's got to be obviously closer enough that he's on TV.
Right.
That's, you know what I mean? It might still be a ways away. Fletcher's going to be preoccupied, I would think, for a little bit with Will Ospreay. I would expect.
Adam Cole was on TV 4 months ago. And
Exactly. But I thought this was a good piece of business. That Mark Davis is kind of the missing piece of this because he is part of the tag team with Kyle. He was part of the trio Aussie Open and all the not Aussie Open, but you know what I mean. He was part of the trio they had.
United Empire.
That's right. This makes 100% sense. I liked it. I don't know where Mark Davis kind of lands when we finally get to this. Does he go with Kyle, or does he stay obviously he's kind of anti what Kyle's doing now, but we'll have to see when we get closer to when or if they ever truly resolve this on screen. But I thought for what it was, I thought this was pretty good. Drew. It was a nice surprise to see Mark Davis out there.
Yes, it was. Didn't recognize him immediately at first. I was like, wait.
When I heard the music and I saw the
mute,
yeah. I was like, oh, is this Mark Davis? And then it happened. I was like, oh, all right, there we go.
So that was really awesome. Looks great. Hopefully he's better soon. And yeah, so now we're introducing Mark Davis into the fold, and Kyle saying, you should join the family.
They're saying there's a spot already reserved. He made sure that there was a spot reserved for him, Drew. So he doesn't even have to prove his work. He's just automatically in if he wants it. Automatically in. It's pretty good.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens here. I was actually surprised not to see Will Ospreay.
They're selling the Tiger Driver 91, man. They're selling it.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah.
Which I understand. They should be having him off TV like this to sell it. But it was like, oh, it's a special Dynamite, and this is like the first special Dynamite that he's not been part of. So, so we'll see what happens. And God, I really wish you didn't tell me Sid from Toy Story now.
It's amazing. Nobody leave the chat. You stay with us the whole show, all right? But once this is over, go try to find it because it is truly incredible. It was truly incredible. After this, we have.
But I will say though,
objectively,
he looks better like that.
I agree.
With blonde hair. So.
You think he looks? You like him better shaved?
Yeah.
I thought he looked great last night. I thought he looked great. I'm not making the Sid comparison to make fun of Kyle Fletcher. Anyway, he looked great, but he literally looked if he was wearing that skull shirt, that would have been incredible. It would have been an incredible moment.
So what Hezekiah is also saying, I was going to mention that too. The camera work on that segment was really interesting because it just panned to
the cameraman was walking
angle
in front of Davis as he was walking, you know what I mean? So when Fletcher, like Hezekiah said, when Fletcher says, hey, and they show Mark Davis look over his shoulder, the camera was looking over the shoulder with
it was really well done.
It was good. It was different. I like different stuff like that. It was good. We then go to backstage. We have Renee Paquette, and she is with Hangman Adam Page. He recounts it. He talks about the history he has with Jay White, takes credit for sending White home for 3 months. He says, yeah, the record is 4-1. And he goes, I want to offer redemption. He goes, there's no such thing as redemption, not for the two of them. There's only the now, only wins and losses and the consequences that follow. He says, Jay, you don't know my strategy. but I'll leave you the same way I've left so many others, hurt with less than he had before and left behind. And so, you know, it was a quicker promo for Hangman, but it was along the lines of just the great. I can't say enough about Hangman. I'll never be able to say enough about Hangman. Yeah. He is the best character in the history of this company. I think he's the centerpiece character in the history of this company. You know, I kind of look at, even though Moxley's playing the anti-AEW guy right now, Moxley to me is kind of Mr. AEW. Like, he's the face of AEW to me. But Hangman Adam Page is the core. He's the heart. He's the core. And I know he's evil now too, and he's a psychopath bad character. But if you look at the history of this company, no character has been treated as good and as consistent from day one until right now than Hangman Adam Page.
Yeah, you're right.
Not even close. Not even close. And so, like, to me, he's my favorite wrestler in all of wrestling, and he has been for a while. I love Hangman Page, and even in small little backstage promos like this, everything he does, I'm just like, does this guy miss at all? Because I can't remember the last time he even had he doesn't have bad match. I can't even remember the last time he had an average match, let alone a bad one. And I can't remember the last time he cut a boring promo. I can't remember the last time he was doing something boring. Like, this guy's the man.
Yeah.
He's the fucking man. And I love him. And I just want to say that. I say it every week, but I just want to say it again because I love him. But I love this promo. I thought it was fire. I'm ready. They announced at Full Gear, we're running it back. Jay White and Hangman. Their match was, you can make an argument to me, it was the best match on Wrestle Dream. It was so good. The opening match they had at Wrestle Dream. And we get to see it again, and I am looking forward to it, man. It's going to be another humper, Drew. It's going to be another humper.
It will.
It's going to be great. We then get Moxley and crew. Yeah, see? There you go. I didn't even see that, but apparently Will Washington told Denise that Hangman's this. Yeah, he is. He is. He is the centerpiece of that whole company. He has been from day one. Yeah, that's how I feel.
Well, it's really been the elite have been the centerpiece for the most part.
But yeah.
But I think that Kenny for a while was the centerpiece when he was champion and doing the belt collector stuff. But it was really, Hangman was always like the 1B.
Yeah.
So yeah, but obviously he's been like always in that 1A, 1B throughout the company's history so far.
Yeah, it's incredible. All right, we get back from commercial after that, and we have Jon Moxley and crew making their entrance to the ring. We're obviously going to talk about this in-ring segment. I just have to say, I was sitting here looking at my TV screen for 10 minutes, Drew, just saying, how are the people in the back of how are you not running out there and beating the brakes off of these guys immediately? You're letting them stand in there for 10 minutes cutting a promo? These guys have been torturing you, beating the shit out of all of you for 3 weeks.
I hadn't thought about this.
And you're just going to sit back there and let them talk for 10 minutes? How are you not running out there with weapons, beating the piss out of these guys immediately? They're trying to take your company down. You're just letting them talk for 10 minutes. Do they let you talk when they come out? No. They show up and they dismantle you. How are you letting this happen, AEW? Eventually, after we talk about what Moxley said, eventually everyone came out and they beat the brakes off them, and it was kind of like, oh shit, AEW's fighting. What took you 10 minutes? Should have been immediate. What's going on? Anyway.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. But
what are we doing?
Yeah.
Anyway, regardless, this segment still was great. But that was just in my brain. I'm like, why did that take 10 minutes for all you guys to come out and chase them off? How was that not immediate? They've been ruining your lives for a month. What are you doing? But anyway, Moxley says, I don't expect Orange Cassidy or anyone else to appreciate what we're trying to do. He goes, but one day they'll all understand. He says, Cassidy thinks he challenged me for the title. No, no. He goes, I challenged Orange when I had Chuck Taylor's neck broken. Damn. What a cold line. That is such a cold line by Moxley right there. He goes, I cut some distraction and dead weight out of Cassidy's life so he can focus on his goals. He goes, we walked in and asked who's in charge, and everyone pointed to Orange Cassidy. That part I didn't really get. Would everybody really point to Orange Cassidy?
Say it again?
Moxley said, we walked in, referring to his group. He says, we walked in and asked everybody who was in charge, and everyone pointed to Orange Cassidy. That part to me, that one line, I was like, would they? Everybody in the back would have pointed to Orange Cassidy as
yeah. I remember when you said that, I was like,
that one line, I was kind of like,
that guy just said he wasn't in charge.
Yeah,
and didn't want to be in charge.
Yeah, he started the show by saying, I'm not a leader. This is not who I am. I don't do this shit. So that one line to me, I was like,
well, it could be though. It could be because they've been trying to really like goad him into.
Well, yeah, and Moxley technically said, we walked in, I asked who's in charge, and everyone pointed to Orange and said that he just didn't want to step up. He goes, that's not the Orange I believe in. He goes, I don't want him fat and happy. I want him pushed. And I pushed him, and he hasn't begun to walk through the valley yet. And he goes, when we fight, we won't be fighting on the mountaintop. We'll be fighting in the valley, whatever that means. And he goes, and Orange better be ready to die in that valley because I am. He goes, OC says nobody's going to get hurt. He's a real cool customer. He thinks he's free of distractions. He goes, we'll see about that. And then all of a sudden, Moxley gives the gang a look, and Pac and Marina Shafir start holding down Wheeler Yuta. And Claudio gets the chair, and he puts it over his neck, and they're putting Wheeler Yuta on the ground like they're going to sacrifice Yuta. And then Orange Cassidy comes, makes the save. Mox and Claudio put the boots to him. Yuta's in the corner, and Marina Shafir is like talking to him in the corner like, hey, I understand what just happened. It's for the greater good. Like, this is part of the... And then Yuta stops beating the shit out of Orange Cassidy.
Man just came down to save your ass.
Literally.
Jeez.
And then we get Dark Order comes, Private Party comes, Top Flight comes. Daniel Garcia's out there. They're all beaten up. They're finally getting a little bit of revenge back. Moxley and crew are kind of taking a beating for really the first time. For really the first time since they've been there, we've kind of seen a fight back situation like this.
Yeah.
Darby then ascends from the rafters. He gets stuck a little bit. That was funny. And then the table thing, whatever that was just brutal. That table was obviously pre-cut or pre-whatever not great. But cool moment, him coming down from the rafters. That was cool. He comes down from the rafters. He starts fighting Claudio.
The problem, though, is that we didn't even really see him come down from the rafters.
No.
We really just saw the end part of him just like going down 2 feet and then hanging there. But it wasn't like we saw him like they would show Sting, you know?
Yeah. It was a little nuts. It was a little nuts. And then, Leo Rush is down there. Like I said, Top Flight's down there. Garcia, Private Party, they all come down there. Orange Cassidy hits an orange punch on Moxley. He gets one in. And then Moxley and crew gets kind of chased off. Some guys following them. And I love the way that they did this, because then all of a sudden in the whole middle of this, we hear the Young Bucks music, because the Private Party ran down there. So they're already in the ring because they have clearly a history with Moxley and this group. And they were already down there. And then we just hear the Young Bucks music hit, and they come out. And they're kind of taking credit like they're the ones that fucking got Moxley and crew out of there. Like, yeah, we show up and now, yeah. Unbelievable. And then we go right into the match, which I thought was different. I thought that was different. It went from like one segment immediately into a match without commercial, without whatever. It was just right into it. I thought that was very cool. I thought that was a little, again, you talk about, it was different stuff. It was different. And then we had ourselves this tag match, and boy, oh boy. What a fucking match. What a fucking match this was right here.
If the main event wasn't on the show, that would have been match of the night.
I still think this should have been the main event. I thought this was the best match. I thought this was the best match. It was.
Well, I mean, considering what happened.
Yeah, well, what happened after? Yeah. This match was incredible. I went into this. I wanted them to pull the upset at Wrestle Dream. That's what I was hoping for. They obviously didn't. Fast forward a few weeks later, we're here in this moment. And I went into this thinking that Quen was going to turn.
Well, they really booked it that way.
Yes.
It looked like at a couple points it was going to happen.
So I went into this match going, oh, Cassidy's the one that made this stipulation. Quen did not like it immediately. I just think that something's going to happen and Quen is going to turn or they're going to be something. And then we saw little hints of it. You know, this match was back and forth. At one point, the Young Bucks grabbed the ring bell. They're going to try to hit Isaiah Cassidy with it. He ducks. I think it was Matt Jackson. Matt Jackson tries to hit him with it. Isaiah Cassidy ducks. Quen comes over, beats up Matt, grabs the ring bell, goes to hit Matt with it. Matt ducks, and he hits Isaiah Cassidy with it.
That was step one. It's like,
and then I'm like, oh, shit. And then once that happened, I was like, here we go. This is happening. They're breaking up. Something's happening. Cassidy is now bleeding all over the place. Later on in the match, the Young Bucks kind of get control of Quen, and they bring him up the ramp, and they beat him up a little bit. They throw him against one of the entrances, and he's out. They leave to head back to the ring to get 2-on-1 with Cassidy, and then we see little sneaky bitch Okada with that grin on his face, that snarly grin. He comes out, and I love Okada. That was the softest tombstone I've ever seen. Come on, man.
But he did the tombstone by the tombstones.
He did, which I thought was nice, and I liked it. You got to put more into that, brother. You got to put more into that. That was soft. That was as soft a tombstone as you're ever going to see.
I loved the set that they had.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Tombstones and everything. That was cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. So Okada hits Quen with the tombstone. Quen is out. And I loved this whole next sequence because it was Cassidy by himself. This was really a star-making thing for Isaiah Cassidy, for real. Yeah. Like, he's in there by himself.
Going on, I'm going, oh, no.
Yep.
Quen hasn't been around for a little bit.
Yep.
That must mean something.
He kicks out of a whole slew of Young Buck famous tag team maneuvers. I will say they did do the move where he's hanging over the ropes and they do the double drop kick into the power bomb, which is, oh my God, what a move.
That is a really, really cool looking move.
Yeah, what a move. The Young Bucks, for as many people shit on them, the last like 3 or 4 matches the Young Bucks have had, dude, that is like premier Young Bucks, like premier Young Bucks. And then so they do this thing where they hit the EVP trigger. Eventually, Cassidy avoids it like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
and then he avoids it 2 or 3 times. He's kicking out of moves.
The first time they avoided it, just like
he just passed
falling.
out. Kind of like, So he avoids it. They're doing their thing. They finally hit the EVP trigger, and it's like, oh, this is over. Ah, shit. So the ref goes for and then out of nowhere, Quen. You don't see him on screen. You don't see him on screen at all. All you see is he just dives through the bottom rope to break up the pin at 2.9. And myself, the arena, I would lost my shit. I was like, oh, I just wasn't.
Well, actually, no, that was the second one that they did, I think.
Was that the second EVP trigger? He kicked out of the one regularly?
He kicked out of one.
Did he?
I think I remember.
Oh, yeah, no, he kicked out. No, the 2 count was on the
one-winged angel.
Yes, the 2 count with Quen, it was on the one-winged angel. So they hit the EVP trigger, and Cassidy kicked out of the EVP trigger, which, again, rare. Yeah. Cassidy kicked out of the EVP trigger. Then Matt Jackson hit a one-winged angel, which tells me, let me tell you guys, right around the corner, baby. He's right around the corner. So he hits a one-winged angel, and that's when Quen came out of nowhere and dove into the ring to break up the 2 count. Unbelievable. The crowd is at a fever pitch. Then they block a TK driver. They hit a poison. Cassidy hits a poison Rana on Matt Jackson. Private Party is feeling it. The crowd is feeling it. They hit Gin and Juice on Nick Jackson, by the way, which Nick Jackson usually is not the Jackson that takes the pinfalls. But they hit Gin and Juice, and they get the 1, 2, 3. and Private Party, finally, after 5 years, Private Party are your new AEW World Tag Team Champions. And after the match, Drew, the Young Bucks, very uncharacteristic, but I liked it. I thought it fit well, even though they're dicks. They brought the belts into the ring and they gave them, like, placed them on Private Party's shoulder.
They ripped it away from them at first.
Yes.
But they, they were playing it up.
Yes.
I like.
And then they kind of gave, the blessing. Hey, you guys earned this, and the Young Bucks leave. We'll talk about what the Young Bucks were doing a little bit after in a second. But man, what a moment. What a moment. What a match. I think we were all happy for Private Party. I don't think there was anybody that wasn't.
No, I saw nothing but praise.
Yeah, literally. The crowd popped tremendously. They dove into the crowd after with the belts. Like, they were dancing with the crowd. The crowd was feeling it. Like you said, on social media, which is usually a wasteland, I didn't see one negative thing about this. I just saw everybody just very happy and excited that Private Party won those belts, including myself. Good stuff. Just really, really good stuff.
Yeah, well, the other thing too is it was a bit weird to have a stipulation where I don't remember who it was that said this. Maybe it was our pals Jeremy and Joel on In the Weeds. I'm pretty sure that was where I heard this from. But it's like, why do you have the Private Party who are currently feuding with Moxley and that group?
Yeah.
Presenting as a united front, but in the Young Bucks, if they lose, they split. That was a bit strange. It's like, if you're gonna tell 2 stories at once, you kind of like making something just not make sense. It's like, they shouldn't be saying, "Oh yeah, if we lose a match, we're gonna split," while we're in the middle of a story on the other side where we have to be a united front against BCC. So I'm obviously, that made me think, oh, probably they're not going to lose, because then what happens with the BCC storyline?
Well,
so it was that was like the only like weird thing about this whole thing.
That's fair. I mean, I just took it as they've come up short so much that Cassidy was basically like, yeah, well, if we can't beat you next time, then we don't deserve to be a team anymore. We've had our opportunities. We've had our chances. We failed. What's the point of sticking together if we can't beat you next time?
But they also did do a good job with it, because then it made you think that Quentin was going to turn heel.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And then when
not see that happen.
When Cassidy got hit with the bell, for a split second, I was like, oh, maybe it's Cassidy will be the one that leaves and walks out. Maybe.
Yeah, like, they did it a very good job.
Yeah.
That with the bell, and then with the very soft tombstone later on, I was thinking, while I was watching it, I was like, uh-oh. So Quinn's been gone for a while. This would be around the time that the tag partner would be looking for to make a tag. Is it going to be like he's just not going to be there now, and that's going to be the reveal, or maybe because there was one shot where Isaiah was on the ropes looking towards the ramp, and it made me think, like, is he just going to like, are they not going to show it, but it's like Mark Quinn is like crawling up the ramp.
Yeah.
But then when he gets to the ramp, is he going to like attack Cassidy and make Cassidy get the pin or something?
Yeah.
Because we've seen that happen before.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, big time.
I'm like, what's going on? But I'm really, really happy my Brooklyn boys are the tag team champions.
Yeah, I'm very happy.
A long time coming. It
was. Very great moment. This Dynamite was really good, but I thought this was the best moment of the show for sure. I thought this was the moment of the show. Obviously, there's a big, big moment that happens at the end, but for me, this was the biggest moment for me because we've been watching AEW since the beginning. We have a 5-year history with these guys. So it was just a really, really good thing. We then head out back, and Renee Paquette is interviewing Jamie Hayter and Penelope Ford. Ford says that she's been here since day one, and people seem to have forgotten who she is and what she's done. And after being out for 2 years, Drew, I know we said that last year. 2 years, man. Wow, that is a long time, dude.
Very long.
After being out for 2 years, she's going to take what she deserves and what Hayter took from her. Then Jamie Hayter says she's the one who's had everything taken from her. But next week, she's going to mop the floor with Penelope Ford. We then have the learning tree on the stage. Chris Jericho. He, Big Bill, the Redwood, kind of introduces them all and stuff like that. Jericho gets the mic. He talks about Dave Meltzer. He says, hey, Dave Meltzer gave the ladder match last week 4 stars. And he talks about the Terrifier movie that he's in being the #1 movie in America. And he's kind of, oh, yeah. And he goes, he takes credit for AEW's success. And he says, I'm going to take Ring of Honor to the biggest stage it's ever seen because I'm Chris Jericho and I can. And he goes, and if you underestimate Chris Jericho, then you're overestimating your knowledge of the wrestling and television businesses. So
I wonder what that means for Ring of Honor then.
A TV deal.
Could there be a TV deal then?
I think that's the only reason. To me, since we've already done this before with him as the Ring of Honor champion, which when they did it the first time, the Nueve back then, I don't have a problem with this one either because I'm not an avid Ring of Honor person, but I know plenty of Ring of Honor people that have a problem with it this time. They had a problem with it last time too, but I thought last time they were more willing to see how it went.
Yeah.
This time they're
I
kind of
saw
like,
that title. That was a grand slam.
Yeah. Now I feel like a lot of Ring of Honor people are like, no, like this is stupid. I feel like the only reason you would put that belt on him now is to secure a TV deal for Ring of Honor. Because Chris Jericho is a name that a TV exec will know the name. Right. He'll know who it is, or they'll know who it is. And you can sell a TV show on that. That's how AEW sold AEW, was that Chris Jericho was on the roster and going to be the first world champion. That's how they got Dynamite done, was because of Jericho.
Yeah.
To an extent. I think Jericho's name is still that name. You're not alone, Hezekiah. I feel like a lot of people feel that way. So we'll see. I don't know what this means. I don't know if maybe Ring of Honor does get, what was it? Shockwave? What's the name that they were floating around?
Yeah, Shockwave.
What if that's a Ring of Honor show?
Well, I mean, whenever it was being mentioned, it was AEW Shockwave.
It was, but what if that turns out? Yeah, it's an AEW show. It's under the AEW umbrella because AEW owns Ring of Honor. What if that is the weekly Ring of Honor show that's on FS1 or Fox Sports, whatever?
Could be. Personally, honestly, I think Rampage would be a better Ring of Honor show.
I agree.
Ring of Honor, ROH Rampage. I agree. Be nice because there's not been any talk of Rampage continuing once the
once the new TV deal kicks in, and if this Shockwave stuff comes to fruition, which I still think they're trying to do, at least the verbiage that we've seen or been told is that Rampage would go away then, and it would be Collision, Dynamite, and Shockwave would be the AEW shows. So I don't know if Shockwaves would just be like a better souped up version of Rampage kind of thing. They just kind of make it a better version of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But to me right now, and this is somebody who is not a Ring of Honor follower or fan. I don't subscribe to Honor Club. I don't, I keep up with what's happening in Ring of Honor, but I don't watch it regularly. The only reason you would put the belt on him would be because you're trying to secure a TV deal. Otherwise, I just don't know why you would.
Or they're just because this character's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like we've already done that, though. This is not the first time we've had, oh my God, Jericho's the Ring of Honor champion. What a sacrilege. Like, this has already happened. It already happened once.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Either way, we then get some interesting stuff, though. We got a really good video package between Anna Jay and Mariah May. They're fighting on Collision. That match is a sleeper, man. Watch out for that.
Oh, they're fighting on Collision?
Yeah, that's what it said. It said we got a video package for Anna Jay and Mariah May, and it said it was on Collision. At least I thought it said it was. I think is it an eliminator? She already won an eliminator match, or it is an
Yeah,
eliminator match?
Battle of the Belts.
Yeah, she won the eliminator, right? I could have sworn I thought it said at the end it was on Collision. I could be wrong. Oh, Scott's saying yep, so I think it is on. I could have sworn it said it was on Collision. That's a big match on Collision for the first time in a fucking month. If it is. For the title on Collision. Yeah, for the title. Let's go, dude. Now I have a reason to watch Collision. Besides, I mean, obviously I have a reason to watch Collision. I do this show with you, so I watch Collision. But you know what I mean. If I was a casual AEW fan, you wouldn't have had you haven't had to go out of your way to stay home on a Saturday for almost like 2 months. Literally. You put a title match on there, that helps.
When I came back to wrestling and was watching WWE, I only watched Raw for like the first 3-4 months.
Yeah, because you didn't need to watch SmackDown.
But I didn't even really know about it yet at that point.
Yeah.
SmackDown wasn't a thing when I was watching it way back when. So, like they would mention SmackDown, but it was not like, oh, I'm going to go and watch SmackDown now. So, so like that would be the same thing like now for me. If I didn't have to watch Collision, I wouldn't be watching Collision.
Yeah. But I'm putting title matches, putting big things on there. If they can start, like,
So the reason why I was asking
turn it around,
because I actually a friend of mine who is in a chat sometimes, Sunday Center.
Oh yeah.
He actually gave me a free ticket to Collision this Saturday.
Is it near you?
It's not near me. It's in Philadelphia. And I was actually planning to go to Philadelphia this weekend, but I don't know if that's going to end up happening. So I may actually just go to the show and then come back home afterwards.
Yeah.
I did it before. When I went to WWE World during WrestleMania week with Sinner, actually. We went together. I just went for the day, went to SmackDown, and then drove home afterwards. It's only a 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah.
I just did 12 hours of driving last month for the 5-year anniversary show, or earlier this month for the 5-year anniversary show. So, hey, I'm a regular making towns type of a guy now.
Apparently. We're in the back now. We have Alex Marvez back there. He's trying to interview the Young Bucks.
No, that's not that was the second one that happened.
What do you mean?
There was the first one where Jack Perry and Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right now. Alex Marvez is back there because he wants to interview the Young Bucks, but Jack Perry shoos him off.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Jack Perry goes, no, they're busy, and shoos him off. And then Daniel Garcia comes and confronts Jack Perry. He grabs him by the chest, puts him against the wall, and he's saying he's next. And Daniel Garcia is saying, I'm sick and tired of entitled pieces of trash walking around thinking they own the place. And then Jack Perry looks him dead in the eye and goes, hey, they used to dance for me too. Oh, great line. Great line by Jack. They used to dance for me too. Oh, loved it. And then when he says that line, Daniel Garcia kind of like shoves him and goes, the hell with you. And he kind of leaves. And then we see Jack Perry walk into the Elite's locker room. The Young Bucks, Okada's just kind of sitting there. The Young Bucks are frantically like packing their bags saying, hey, get in here. We got to talk. We got to get out of here. Get in here. We got to talk. And in the corner, Brandon Cutler was shredding documents. Don't know what those documents could be, but he was shredding documents.
So, like, huh?
Yeah.
What could that be about?
Commentary made it a point. Excalibur mentioned it like 2 or 3 times. He was like, they shredding like they made it a point to make sure everybody saw that Brandon Cutler was shredding documents. But yeah, they had just lost the tag belt, so they're frantically packing the bags, wanting to leave. They say we got to talk. But yeah, in the corner, and this is not the last time we'll talk about Brandon Cutler tonight or today. But Brandon Cutler was just shredding documents in the corner of The Office. So I don't know what I mean, obviously we'll find out what those documents are at some point, I assume. But that was intriguing to me. I was like, I don't know what the fuck that could be.
Yeah.
What could they be shredding?
Like, get the cameras out of here. We got
Unless they had agreements with Moxley and stuff. And there was something Moxley and group related that shows the Young Bucks kind of allowed it to happen. Or something along that nature.
So Sinner had also mentioned last week that he had I don't remember if he said it in the chat or if it was on our show on Roundtable. He was saying that he has a thought that maybe Tony Khan is the reason why Moxley is doing what he's doing right now, but not because Tony Khan is, doing the Eric Bischoff heel thing, and joining the NWO, but that he quote unquote hired, in a sense, or allowed Moxley to go. He went to Moxley and was like, "Hey, the Elite are a problem for me. I need you to take care of them. Can you take care of them? You can do whatever you want. Just take care of them for me." But it got to Moxley's head, and then he got kind of like a power trip from it.
But I feel like Tony would have already tried to stop it.
Well, but now, from judging from what happened last night with these like document shredding, and BCC and the Elite have not crossed paths. And you can see it's been like, now that
well, at this point in the show.
Well, right, yeah. So at this point in the show, we'll say the Young Bucks and well, the entirety.
They haven't crossed paths yet.
Not once, because strategically, Moxley and co. come from the crowd, while the Elite come from the stage. So, like, really, what happened, that really awesome blend of segments that happened on the show to go into the tag match. So, as the Elite, as BCC, and they're finally dispersed and over the barricade, that's when the Young Bucks come out. It's like, it's a very strategic thing. They're never in the same place at the same time, you know?
Yep.
So the Elite have never, Elite and BCC never in the same place at the same time. But then, if you notice, specifically, one person, not in this part, but in the second part, might as well just talk about it because it's in succession.
If you want. Yeah.
So Alex Marvez again is trying to get the Young Bucks. They're like, wait, you guys are leaving? You guys are leaving? They're throwing their bags into the back of an SUV. And they're like, yeah, we got to get out of here. They get in the SUV. They drive off. But Brandon Cutler was left behind. And then you just see all of a sudden, here comes the BCC behind him. And Brandon Cutler had like a box of something. I think shoes.
Yeah, something like that.
Shoes. Moxley just slaps it out of his hand.
Yeah.
And then Christopher Daniels comes and is like, "Hey guys, what are you doing?"
Yeah, like cut it out, and Moxley just puts him in a headlock and kind of makes him watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he makes Daniels watch as Marina Shafir gets a fucking hammer.
No, Claudia.
Oh, Claudia?
Yeah. Marina Shafir was holding him down.
Oh, she was holding him down, right?
Yeah.
And they just slap his hand with that hammer. It's like, oh, felt that. Like, oh. So this is the official first interaction of BCC and the Elite.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they were running away from BCC.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? It's very interesting. It's like they've had the titles
Yeah, but
for
we've
this
seen
whole time.
we've seen it for 2 or 3 weeks now that the Bucks have been standing out there watching Moxley and crew beat the crap out of half their roster and not done a damn thing.
But BCC never went after them.
Okay, which is
This
fine.
time,
Yeah, they
they
went after
were
one of their
going
guys.
after
I mean, they went after the guy that they clearly do not give a shit about. But
But they were going after the Elite. The Elite got out of there in time,
maybe,
but
yeah.
they were walking from the same direction that Brandon Cutler walked from.
Oh yeah,
So they were already going to.
I would imagine they probably thought, hey, let's follow this guy. He'll lead us to the Elite, and we'll take care of business. But obviously, when Cutler turns the corner and he realizes the Elite is already gone.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
While they've always not touched, they've not crossed each other's paths. BCC were directly going after the Elite to go to the Elite.
That's what we're talking about.
Time.
This is what we're talking about, Bonkers. They were obviously Brandon Cutler was the one that was shredding the documents as well. Obviously, he's the one that gets his hand broken by the Elite. I'm sorry, by the BCC here in this segment we're talking about now. But Brandon Cutler was the one shredding documents. And so we're trying to figure out what could be on those documents. I think there is a thing that maybe the Bucks did make a deal somewhere and they're trying to get rid of the evidence or something like that. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe the BCC wasn't trying to go attack the Elite, but once they saw it was just Brandon Cutler, they were like, let's send a message or something like that. I'm not sure. To an earlier comment, since we're still talking about Moxley. No, not that one. This one. I think that's done. I think that's done with.
Yeah.
They haven't talked about something greater or something above.
They talk about the greater good.
Yes.
Which Hot Fuzz, amazing movie.
Yeah.
They talked about the greater good.
Yeah.
But
early on, it felt like they were talking about somebody. Now I don't feel like they're talking about somebody. They've pulled that back. Because I think what happened was us wrestling fans, we booked ourselves into a shoot because we're wrestling fans. Not me. I never believed it was ever going to be Shane. That just didn't fit for me. But I think wrestling fans did that thing where they come up with a thought that must be happening, and then the whole wrestling community was like, "Oh shit!" And I think AEW smartly saw that and went, "No, everyone's going to be super disappointed."
With the Bucks and Shane came out at that time
because
so it was like right in that Shane is going to be involved with AEW.
Exactly, and you know how it goes because we're wrestling fans. Something will happen. A certain segment of wrestling fans will say, "Oh, I think this is going to happen." A larger segment then clings on to it and goes, "Oh shit, this would be awesome if it happens." And then if it doesn't happen, instead of wrestling fans thinking logically and just being like, "Oh, it didn't happen," they get actually angry at the company that they didn't do the thing that they themselves created in their brains. So I think that's what is going on. Bonkers, I'm pretty sure Okada was with the Elite when they left. I'm pretty sure
they didn't show him.
No, they didn't. So was he not
like
there?
It was. They didn't show him getting into
was it just the Bucks and Perry?
No, it was just the Bucks.
Yeah, so we didn't see Jack Perry. We didn't see anybody but the Bucks.
So I don't. Yeah, so I'm not sure, and I don't remember if was Okada in the locker room when the document shredding. He was. Okay,
yeah. That for sure he was.
So he could have potentially been in the SUV already.
Yeah.
Could he have been the one driving? I don't know.
Yeah.
So they only it just has to have been strategic for like they're only showing the Bucks and Brandon.
Yeah.
In like being like heavily like concerned in in these two segments.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just really like, what the fuck is it? What's going on? This is, and then there's also, Kenny could probably be coming back soon. He's supposed to be, I think, November 4th or something. He's doing an appearance somewhere that was announced yesterday. So it's like, I'm very intrigued. I can't wait to see what's next.
Yeah. What was next on this show was Camille versus Chris Statlander. Short match. However, let me tell you, I did not expect it to go the way it did. I actually thought Camille should have won this match. But
You think so?
yeah. Yeah, I thought this was way too early for her to lose. She's supposed to be this big monster. It's like her fourth match. She fucking lost. Not a big monster. I wouldn't be scared of her. Losing in your fourth match. What's wrong with you? Big monster, scary person. Okay, she lost immediately in fucking 5 minutes. I'm scared of her now. Let me tell you. Would you be scared of her?
Oh yeah.
Really? Well, yeah, because she kicked my ass in real life. But I'm talking like from what she's had 4 matches, 3 of them against no-name opponents for the most part. Wiped the floor with them. Faces a real opponent, and she lost in less than 5 minutes. What kind of muscle are you?
Well,
I know it's Statlander. We love Statlander. I love Statlander. But like, what? No, I would have had Camille.
It did force Mercedes to have to get in the ring, and she literally said, "Well, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself."
And I'm all for that, but I feel like you could have got to that a different way. I would have had Camille looking like she was going to lose, and I would have had Mercedes get in the ring and hit Stat with the belt and cause a DQ instead of Camille literally getting pinned in the ring in less than 5 minutes. I would have had it look like, oh shit, Statlander's going to beat Camille, and then Mercedes gets in there, hits her with the belt. It's a DQ, so Camille still gets the loss, but she's not getting pinned, looking weak. And then Mercedes does the same thing. Get your ass to the back. If I got to do it, I got to do it myself. I just think you made Camille look weak and as soft as applesauce.
I didn't see it that way, but I can understand what you're saying.
That's just what I thought. I could be wrong, but that's what I thought. You have her, and again, it's Statlander. I know where they're going. They're going to Mercedes and Stat for the title, which is going to rule, and it's going to be great. And Statlander rules. I fucking love Statlander. I think they made Camille look weak, real quick. They made her look weak. It was a very quick match. Not that it wasn't a bad match. It was a pretty decent thing that they had, but it was quick. And Chris Statlander got the belt, got the pinfall with Wednesday Night Fever. And post-match, Mercedes Moné blasts Statlander in the back of the head with the TBS Championship. She yells at Camille to get to the back. And she goes, sometimes if you have to do things right, you got to do it yourself. And then she kind of lifts up Stat and kind of points the belt and does that thing. And that's how we went. So again, we're getting to Mercedes Moné versus Statlander, which is a match that I've kind of wanted for a long time. They've been sowing the seeds for this since Mercedes showed up. So we're finally getting to it. It's going to rule. I just thought you could have done a better way of kind of protecting Camille if she is to be this scary monster protector. Well, she didn't really do a good job of doing that. She lost in literally less than 5 minutes. Not good. It's the match, fine, but that's how I felt. We then had a video package for Hook talking about Christian Cage and the attack on Taz. And then we got Christian Cage standing with the patriarchy, which Kip Sabian was in the group, standing next to Mama Wayne. And Christian Cage invited Hook to meet the patriarchy in the ring next week so he can explain himself. So we had that. We came back from commercial, and Renee was backstage with Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, and Tomohiro Ishii. Briscoe says Ring of Honor and the world title mean a lot to him, but he wonders when Chris Jericho bumped his head to where he doesn't care about his health since he's got his brother's name in his mouth again. Kyle O'Reilly pitches a fight without honor on Wednesday, and Mark is feeling it. He says, we're going to batten down the hatches. We're going to beat them with those hatches. He asked Kyle if he's ready. He asked Tomo if he's ready. And he goes, next week in New Hampshire. He's like, we're getting after. He started yelling. And so I'm not a regular Ring of Honor watcher. I don't know what a fight without honor is. Is that like a special type of match? I assume.
No idea. No,
I'm not on top of my Ring of Honor to know what a fight without honor match is. I don't know if that means like no holds barred, street fight, no DQ. I'm not sure. But it sounds like it's going to be one of those matches. And then we're at our main event, Drew.
Can I? Oh, I just want to say something.
Yeah.
This has to stop.
What?
Briscoe and Jericho. It has to stop.
At some
Like,
point.
all right, listen, Mark, you can't just fight with Jericho every time you mention
Well, Jericho needs to stop
name.
disrespecting Jay's name.
Yeah, but like,
Jericho's the one that's egging. Like, this shit was, you won the belt. It's over, bro. You're the one bringing up the name.
but like, it's it's going into the like vortex jokes and stuff. It was like, all right, he mentioned your brother's name. Come on, can we we got to move on from this.
Well,
we have to move on.
I don't know. We'll see. Don't get me wrong. Yes, I agree with you in the long run, but I don't know. Does Mark win the belt back from him at some point, and then they go from there? Like, how long do we expect Jericho to actually be Ring of Honor champion?
Well, he has to be champion at least until his TV deal.
If it happens,
TV deal.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
That could be like next year.
Yeah. Look, for me, yes. Would I prefer Mark Briscoe to be doing something else? Yes. But I love Mark Briscoe, and I want him cutting promos and being ridiculous and doing that. And if it has to be at the expense, if Jericho's the one that's getting him on TV every week, I'd rather Mark Briscoe on my TV every week than not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I do think
it's
this needs to move on. I think we need to have this match next week, either win or lose against the Learning Tree, get your revenge, and then move on. What I'm intrigued about is Kyle O'Reilly going to be a member of the conglomeration that much longer? Because they keep on showing him watching Adam and watching his old buddies. So it makes me
I don't think he'll. So I was thinking like, oh, maybe is he going to join Undisputed Kingdom? But they're doing a clear thing here, which we didn't mention this. I don't think we mentioned this when you talked about Adam Cole's promo earlier. He's been rocking with Undisputed Kingdom, even though they're heels, and he is not a heel anymore.
Yes.
So there's obviously something is gonna come from this when they have to fight, whether it's that they fight together to get that third win or whatever happens. But I feel like maybe what would end up happening is, at least in the beginning, when that turn of Undisputed Kingdom on Adam Cole happens, Kyle will save him. Maybe they do like a tag match or two between Cole and Riley and maybe Taven and Bennett, or get why am I blanking on his name? Roddy is Roddy will get involved too, obviously. But I would like to see heel Kyle O'Reilly with Undisputed Kingdom
against Adam, or you think Adam may be heel as well?
No, I don't think he's going to be heel again for a while.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see where that goes, because clearly they've been showing him every week since Adam's been back regularly. They show Kyle watching it from the back, so clearly we're getting some sort of, whether it's them against each other or them with each other, we're getting some sort of thing happening. Oh, all right, Bonkers. That's a good question before we start talking about the main event. He says, could you see Eddie Kingston in the Elite teaming up to fight BCC if Eddie is fit to go? I mean, I think it's very natural that if Eddie is fit to go and it's, sooner than later, and this is still happening, that he would be
that
easy guy to go against Claudio and Moxley. Like the story's already built.
Yeah, because him and Moxley have already feuded.
Yes, and he's hated Claudio
really
for 20
more
years.
About Claudio.
Yeah.
Then him and Danielson also feuded, but then they made up.
Yep.
And now Moxley and crew did what they did to Danielson, so that also makes sense too.
Yep.
So now he wasn't saying in the Elite. He was saying and the Elite.
I assume he's saying like Eddie Kingston aligning with the Elite.
Aligning with them, yeah.
I think if anything, Eddie Kingston would just align with the AEW people.
Yeah, that's right. But it seems like the story, judging from the way that they've been booking this, it seems like, and now I would say sooner rather than later, the Elite are gonna turn babyface, or at least
That's what it feels like.
part
At least
of
the
the
Bucks. At least the Buck. Like it
Bucks.
feels like the Bucks are heading. But I don't know though, because if we find out that the Bucks had an if we find out the documents they're shredding are the Bucks having an arrangement with Moxley and crew, and they've kind of let this happen. That's not them turning baby. I mean, they could turn babyface off it, maybe like, oh, we realized we made a mistake and blah, 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 whatever. But like, I agree with you. I do feel like we are getting a Young Bucks change of character a little bit here. I think this is where this leads to, but we need to find out what those documents are, because if those documents are them saying they let Moxley do this, because let's not forget, not that long ago, the Bucks wanted to take down AEW just like Moxley and crew are trying to take down AEW.
Yeah, right.
So you have to remember that too. You have to remember that too as we move forward and kind of figure out what the hell is going on with
And
this.
that was the start of and then the other thing too, that was the start of Jack Perry joining the Elite.
Mhm. Yeah.
So the weird thing too is like, depending on what those, even though they've had a supposed potential agreement with Moxley and the BCC, if that's what the documents are going to show.
Yeah.
For the past few weeks, while their paths haven't exactly crossed, like we were talking about earlier, they have shown interest, a vague interest in stopping BCC and helping the AEW originals. But it's been Jack Perry
who's been
that's
stopping them.
prevented them from doing it.
Yes.
So it could be that Jack is wise to it now. And also, while they didn't show Okada with the Bucks and Brandon Cutler leaving, they didn't show Jack Perry.
Correct.
So what's going on there? And there's no like there hasn't been yet any Okada change of character. It's only been the Bucks.
Yeah.
Because even I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks where the Young Bucks were like, "Oh, should we go and help?" Okada's never been involved in that. It's always been Jack Perry going, "No, don't worry about that. Let's go to the back." So, what's Okada's role in this whole thing?
Yeah, and that's the real question. Is like literally like that's what we gotta find out, because there's a lot to figure out still when it comes to this story. There's a lot of unanswered questions and stuff that we got to figure out when we start seeing this continue moving forward. It was main event time, Drew. It was Swerve Strickland going up against Shelton Benjamin. Good match between these two, as you would expect it to be. Back and forth. For the first half of this match, Shelton Benjamin was whooping Swerve. Whooping him. And he was taking a beatdown. But Swerve fights back. Real good stuff. 450 at one point later on in the match from Swerve. Benjamin kicked out. Shelton hit a beautiful German suplex. He hit a rising knee in the corner. He went for Rolling Thunder into the STO, and all that stuff. The Swerve hit that. He hit a Liger bomb at one point. And at the end, Swerve hits the stomp from the second row. 1, 2, 3, right in front of MVP, by the way. MVP was right there when the 3 count was hit. Swerve wins. We see Nana get in the ring. He's celebrating with Swerve. And then we kind of get a camera angle on MVP, who's walking towards the ramp. and he pulls out his cell phone and he makes a call on his cell phone. You can't hear what he's saying, but he makes a call on his cell phone. He's clearly talking to somebody. And right after, the lights flicker real quick, like boom, like real quick, on and off.
Okay, I need you now.
Yeah. Hello, Jacko. How are you doing, buddy?
Hello, sir.
Welcome in. We're finishing up our AEW Dynamite talk right here. So the lights flicker for a split second. Swerve looks confused. Then the lights go down again. We hear some music. And finally, the AEW debut of Bobby Lashley. He looked great, had a nice suit on. He looked wonderful, had a huge pop. He does his poses. He gets in the ring. We get a face-to-face with him and Swerve. The crowd is going nuts, chanting, "This is awesome." Shelton then jumps up onto the apron from the floor, causes us a distraction to Swerve. Swerve goes after Shelton, and when he turns around, Bobby Lashley hits him with a huge clothesline. And then we see MVP attack Nana with his cane, and he's choking out Prince Nana.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting any manager involvement.
Yeah,
here.
as Benjamin gets back in the ring and Lashley, they're beating down Swerve. Nana's getting beaten down. Shelton Benjamin hits Nana with a boot. Lashley puts Swerve in the hurt lock. The referees start coming down. Security starts coming down. And this Fright Night AEW ends with these three gentlemen standing over Prince Nana and Swerve. And MVP goes, "Guess who's back in business?" And the show ends with they're going to be known as the Hurt Syndicate. But what we know them as is the Hurt Business reformed in AEW. Good fun ending. I don't think the show needed a 15-minute overrun. I think that was a little much. I didn't think you needed that. You could have probably fixed some stuff earlier. But big time ending. Bobby Lashley is there. I assume we are heading full force to a Swerve versus Lashley match at Full Gear. That'll be the match. Huge. You're muted. I can't hear you.
Sorry.
There we go.
I'm very much looking forward to the Lashley match now because Shelton Benjamin was awesome. I'm wondering if somebody comes to help Swerve because Swerve has not had any help.
Can I throw a name out there?
Sure.
What about Keith Lee?
Well, that would be nice. I don't
if
know
he's
what
if he's healthy. Yeah, obviously there are other things but what about a reforming or
Swerve in your glory?
Yeah, Swerve in his glory. What if Keith Lee, if he's healthy, which I don't know if he is. I don't think he is. I don't know if he is. But would Keith Lee be somebody that we could see come out to help Swerve in this? Because it's 3-on-1, although Nana can wrestle. So that makes me think that we might see Bobby Lashley and MVP versus Swerve and Nana at some point. Because Nana is a trained wrestler.
That would be that I would.
And Nana did challenge MVP. He did say, "Hey, I used to wrestle. I'll fight your ass." Weeks and weeks and weeks ago, he said that.
Yeah,
and
when
he was
MVP
clearly
came out the first time.
Yes, and he was beaten down here. They clearly made a point to include Nana in this beatdown, which makes me think that at some point, whether it's a 6-man or a tag or something, we are going to get MVP and Nana as part of a match. It makes me think that is
now if he wasn't involved with Takeshita, I would say maybe Ricochet.
That'd be good. I just threw Keith Lee out there again, not knowing his health status, and it's been very up in the air for years now. Not knowing his health status, I just know that Keith Lee has a history with Swerve, obviously, and I think that would kind of fit in well with this story. If all of a sudden Swerve was getting beaten down 3-on-1 here or 3-on-2. And Keith Lee was somebody, if healthy, I feel like that could work. Wouldn't even be upset if it turned out that later on in the story, Keith Lee ended up turning on Swerve and joined the Hurt Syndicate too. There's a lot of ways you can go here. That's just a name I wanted to throw out just because of the history he has with Swerve. Because I'm trying to think of who would help him. It's not going to be Hangman, obviously. He's not going to help him. That would be dope, though. Imagine Hangman was just like, "No, I hate you, but I need you alive so I can torture you for the rest of your life. So I'm going to help you take care of these guys."
Would be interesting.
But, it would never happen.
No.
But I'm trying to think of And Keith Lee just came to mind as somebody that would fit. AR Fox could work.
Oh,
that's a good one. That's a good one. That could work.
Yeah, I miss seeing AR Fox.
He had a good match.
Often.
Who'd he fight recently? He fought on TV a couple weeks. Who'd he fight on Collision? Right? He had a match. Like was it last week or the week before? It was good to see him on television. Before. I forget who he fought. He lost because he fought a bigger name, but it was good to see him on television again. Let me tell you. Maybe. Yeah, it might have been. I think it was Kyle. I think you might be right. Oh, Leo Rush. That's right.
Oh, Leo.
Thank you, Andy. Yeah. But Bobby Lashley is officially here. The Hurt Syndicate is officially here in AEW. A big time ending to a really great Dynamite. Very intrigued to see where they go moving forward with this story, especially with the BCC elite stuff. Then you got the Orange Cat. There's a lot of they're telling some good stories here.
Everything was story based on the show.
There was no
squash match.
Oh, I was going to say there was not even a lot of wrestling on this show last night. Like there was like 3 or 4 matches. One of them was 5 minutes and under for Camille. And
there was I believe it was 4 matches. And
they were all great. But this was a very promo, backstage segment, story-driven episode of Dynamite, and I thought it was the best episode of Dynamite they've done in a month.
Told very well.
Yes, this was the best episode of Dynamite they've had in a month or so, I would say, since Wrestle Dream for sure. Now it was a themed episode. They definitely, made it a special, bigger themed episode. I would like to see the momentum carry on to when we get back to the regular, not themed Dynamites and keep that momentum, because last night was a great, great show. It forwarded a lot of stories last night. We have a lot of stories to iron out over the next 3 weeks before we get to Full Gear about what we have the matches starting to get booked. We officially have Hangman and Jay White again. We officially have Moxley and OC for the title. I would be shocked if in the next week we don't officially get Swerve and Lashley at Full Gear. We're going to get Monet and Stat at Full Gear. The Full Gear card is starting to make its way. Daniel Garcia versus Jack Perry for the TNT title is going to happen. You're starting to see the Full Gear card ironed out.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of intrigue in the stories heading into it. So I'm very excited about what we're going to be seeing here over the next few weeks in AEW, because I feel like the stories are starting to get juicy. And I agree with Hezekiah. He says it was a step up from last week. We just need this consistency every week with giving us more story-driven episodes and stuff like that. Now, I will say this, Hezekiah, I don't disagree with you. However, AEW, they are not, that is WWE. Story-driven episodes with a sprinkle of wrestling. AEW needs to find a more middle ground, because AEW was built off of wrestling, not over-the-top promo segments and over-the-top, you know what I mean? They tried to separate themselves by the wrestling, so I think they need to just find their niche. Last night's episode was really good, but I feel like if you start doing that every week, where 70% of the show is promos and storylines, your diehard AEW fans are they're gonna say piss off. They're not gonna like it. And at this point,
AEW, Collision is definitely more wrestling based.
100%. And if they were to do that, that's fine. But you need to make the Collision matter more for people to go. It can't just be good matches. There needs to be stuff that matters over
Leo Rush and Ricochet from last Saturday. Oh boy, that was incredible.
That was real good.
Incredible.
That was real good. But yeah, a great episode of Dynamite. Very excited to see next week. Brandon, 100%. Swerve and Bobby was fire last night. That match is going to be fire when we get it at Full Gear. Good stuff happening on the AEW side of things. I hope everyone has a happy Halloween today. It is Halloween. We did not dress up.
No, we did not.
We did not dress up.
Time.
But it is Halloween today. So if you're trick-or-treating or you got little ones that are trick-or-treating, be safe out there. Hope everyone watches their favorite scary movie, gets to eat their candy, all that fun stuff. But Drew, before we get out of here, you know the drill. Let the people know where they can find you, what you got coming up the rest of the week, and we'll do that damn thing.
I'm going to try and get my husband to watch The Shining with me tonight.
Oh, The Shining.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I don't know if it's going to happen, but we'll see if it happens. You could find me at the Drew Nicholas on Twitter, X, whatever we call that platform, however long that platform's around for. And I don't know what my name is on Blue Sky. I have a Blue Sky. People have been following me on there. I don't remember my information to get on it. I will eventually figure that out. Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast, Fightful's AEW Collision post show every Saturday, collecting the super chats and humper chats. And follow Firmly LW on Twitter as well.
Yes, please do. You can follow me at JPJ Loves Gaming on all social media platforms. Obviously, Tuesdays and Thursdays here at 10 a.m. with Drew doing the Firmly Love Wrestling bit. WWE, we talk on Tuesdays. AEW, we talk on Thursdays. And then Thursday nights at 8 p.m., you can find me with Pluggo for the flagship here at Love Wrestling Between Two Beards. I will say tonight we will be live at 8 p.m. per usual, but tonight is a taped episode. Just to let everybody know, it is recorded. Pluggo is a father. He has 4 children. 3 of them still trick or treat. And trick or treating where he lives cuts into our beards time tonight. And it is more important to be a dad than be a wrestling podcaster. So we decided to record a show. We recorded it after Dynamite last night. So we talk about a preview for Crown Jewel. We talk about Dynamite last night. We were joined by our pals Ella J and Kimmy Sokol. So it'll be the 4 of us for the show. So there will be a Beards episode tonight. Pluggo and I will be in the chat saying hello and chatting with all of you. But it is a recorded episode. But still go watch it. It was a real fun one. It was a really, really fun one. But I just wanted to give that warning out now because I know obviously most people expect it to be live and, stuff like that. But it is pre-recorded. But tonight, 8 p.m., right here on this very channel, Between Two Beards, all that fun stuff. So that's where you can find me. That's where you can find this guy right here. You'll find us here again on Tuesday, where we'll be talking about what happens this weekend at Crown Jewel and other things in WWE on our Firmly WWE
Crown
episode
Jewel's on
Saturday afternoon, correct? Okay. Saturday afternoon. So we'll be talking about that and everything else that happens in the world of WWE. But yes, go follow us at Firmly LW. Follow us on our individual platforms. We appreciate all the support and love. Thank you to everyone in the chat today. We appreciate you all as well. And until next time, y'all know the drill. Peace out.
It was a good day for the Dodgers.
Today was a good day.
It was. Ice Cube leading it
Because
off.
the Yankees lose.
You